Hello, Namaste, Salam Walaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Welcome back to another session with your Vahchef at VahRehVah.com. Today I am going to show you another very fantastic dish called Dhanshak. This is basically a Parsi dish which has evolved over a period of time. Basically Parsis, you all know, have migrated to India from Iran and that area. So this dish, I call it a good sambar with mutton, but they have a very special masala and so on to make this. So I'm going to show you first how to make the masala. For this they're going to use a couple of spices to make their Dhanshak masala. See, just like sambar, how we make a wet kind of masala and another thing is dry kind of masala. What we get in the store is a dry masala powder, but traditionally when people make that masala at home, they roast all of the things, make into a paste and add. So if you are going to make it a dry masala and store it for a while, you can just take some red chilies in a pan, peppercorns and star anise, green cardamom, cloves and jeera, that is cumin seeds, and we are going to slightly dry roast them. And when they are all nicely roasted, then you can add a little bit of Kasuri methi, okay, and just roast along with it. When this is dried out, that is when you make this into a powder and use as a dry masala. But I am going to show you the wet masala also. This is almost dried out, so I am going to put this here. But now I am going to show you wet masala. Wet masala is nothing but again you need to roast some of those spices, but we are going to add some water and going to make the paste. So for this I am going to take coriander seeds, peppercorn, cinnamon stick, star anise, green cardamom, cloves, cumin seeds. Now to this we are going to add some red chilies. To this we are going to add some of the Fenugreek seeds, that is the methi seeds, and we are going to slightly cook for a few more minutes. See, and in this we are going to add, switch off the flame. I am just going to add green chilies, chopped coriander. I am just adding in this pan here itself just to show you what all goes into making this paste. Just this is dill leaf, fresh dill leaf, and I am going to put all of this into a pan. Okay. Now I am going to add water. I am going to make this into a very fine paste, and this is what I am going to use to make Dhanshak today. Now we made two kind of masalas. One is the dry masala and then is wet masala. See, the dry masala is how I learnt in college. The wet masala is what I learned from my Parsi friend. He says it is his grandmother's recipe. And for this, I am going to first cook the dal now. For this, I am going to add some oil. Now, we are going to use four kinds of dals here. One is the Chana dal, okay, the Tovar dal, take all equal quantities, no problem. And Moong dal, that is split green gram, lentil, that is Masoor dal, and we are going to first slightly roast them. Once these get slightly roasted, I am going to add the vegetables. Here I have got pumpkin. Pumpkin is the main vegetable that gives this dish the creamy, the nice, awesome texture. So we are going to add the pumpkin that has been cut into small pieces. Okay, and eggplant. Eggplant is another dish which gives a good texture to this dish. So I cut the eggplants and put it in the water. Why do we do that? Because the eggplant pieces, they get oxidized. If you don't put it in the water, they become black. But once you put in the water, they don't. Another way to stop oxidization is just sprinkle some lime juice and they won't get oxidized. And pieces of potatoes. Okay. Now here you can add, some people like to add more vegetables, but it's up to you. I have seen people adding carrots, but some people say carrot, no in Dhanshak. But it's up to you. I have used carrot and I like the taste. And some people like to use tomatoes. Some people add it in the mutton, but if you add it in the mutton, it takes a lot more time for the mutton to cook. Same with the dal. But since we are cooking in the pressure cooker, no big deal. I am going to add some tomatoes also in this. And add water. So that should be enough. And we are going to cook this for at least 4 whistles. Basically what I am trying to do is I want this texture to be mashy. Now after you pour all of this, just add some turmeric. A little extra also should be fine. And we're going to put the lid. That should be good. Now the dal with the vegetables is getting cooked. I didn't add salt, so I'm going to add a little later. But now in this pan, I'm going to add some oil. To this, I'm just going to use bay leaf. And chopped onion. We're going to slightly brown this onion, slightly till they are slightly golden in color. And what do? Vahchef. He adds salt when he's frying onions, and he tells this causes the water to come out of the onions, and the onions get cooked much faster. Once the onions are slightly golden, in this we're going to add some ginger garlic paste. Wow, this is good. Now, once the ginger garlic paste, the raw flavor is gone, we're going to add the pieces of mutton. Okay. Good. I'm going to add a little water, not much. Be very careful. See, I am a professional chef. When I put the lid on a hot pressure cooker, I know what exactly to do. I won't repeat again, but just make sure lift the whistle and then press it. And the meat is cooked. I love this. I love this. Now, I'm going to, this is also cooked. Okay. See, a lot of people, what they do is they kind of strain this vegetables and cook. You know what I'm going to do? Just to make sure that you see it clearly, I'm going to transfer it into another pot. Okay. Now, to this, I'm going to add this meat. Even this is so nice and tenderly cooked. Okay. Now, we're going to cook this till this nicely boils and comes to the right consistency. Before that, I'm also going to add the Dhanshak masala paste. Do not add too much, just add half of it first and keep the rest in case if you think that you need to add a little more of it. Now, after adding the masalas, you can see this is slightly getting thicker. So I'm just going to adjust the consistency. It depends what kind of consistency you prefer. This looks fantastic for me. And the color wise, the flavor wise, the aroma wise. So I'm just going to add some tamarind juice, So I'm just going to add some jaggery into it. You can also adjust the seasoning, the amount of jaggery, the sweetness to this. And in the last, I'm just going to add a spoonful of ghee. You can also add butter, but wow. Now, this is good. I'm just going to let this boil and then taste, okay? And also check the taste. I may need a little bit salt in this. That should be good. Okay. Now, usually when I make dhanshak, I'm messing up my plate here, but I add a lot of meat today. Not so much meat, but I'm going to enjoy this with my brown rice I made. Look at this. Super hot. Super. Can't resist, Perfect aroma. In the last, instead of adding dhanshak paste, you could have even added the dhanshak powder. It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Wow. I'm all set to enjoy dhanshak at my home. But dear friends, do not forget, VahRehVah is all about inspiring others to cook. So please post your recipes and cooking tips at vahrehvah.com so others can benefit from your great cooking. Thank you.